After Kentucky's loss to North Carolina, Mark Pope was at the podium discussing their rebounding performance, and he said that it was, quote, uncharacteristic for us. Quote, credit to North Carolina. That's not who we are. Do you think that the rebounding effort displayed from Kentucky against North Carolina is not indicative of who they are, Dion?
Um, Let me see something really quickly. Yeah, Michigan State did it to them too. And let's see what Louisville did. It was pretty close against Louisville. I do think it's a little bit indicative of who they are, though. Like, if Michigan State beat you on the glass that way too, North Carolina beat you on the glass that way, like you kept it close. You lost the rebounding battle to a Louisville team. No one knew who was going to start at the five in that game. Like, honestly, game to game, we don't know who's going to start at the five for Louisville.
Right.
It could be anybody. And then you win the rebounding battles against Nichols, Valpo, Eastern Illinois, Loyola, Tennessee Tech. It might not be indicative. It might not be indicative of what Mark Pope wants, but it is indicative of how they played so far.
Yeah, I'd like to introduce a new game called Drink Every Time Mark Pope says something that it just gives a clear example that he has no idea what his team is. Fun new game. Cheers, because Mark Pope calling his rebounding uncharacteristic is just so wrong. Cheers. Dion, if I was an opposing coach, that's Mucinex, by the way. I'm not that crazy. Sick as hell, and I'm still here. I like if I was making up a game plan opposing Kentucky right now, and I'm a high major opponent. Say I'm Gonzaga. Since let's just use that example since it's tomorrow. I have a good front court. I'm a good rebounding team. I've played big teams. Like I what how are we going to attack Kentucky? The number one thing on my list would be this team is soft as shit on the boards. Look what Michigan State did to them. Look what North Carolina did to them. You can get to this team on the boards and they beat up lesser opponents, fine. But even in that Louisville game where rebounds were even, Louisville got 13 offensive boards. Like that's the scout. This is absolutely characteristic of what this team is. It's characteristic of what the personnel on this team is. Like I would go guy by guy on the scout and show film of this and say, listen, they start a 7 foot skinny freshman, who by the way is their best rebounder. He's good, but you can still get into him. You can still toss him around a little bit. Outside of him, Brandon Garrison can't play. His effort's bad right now. He's a disaster. He's been benched. Whenever he's on the floor, we smell blood. And oh, by the way, it's not just the center spot. Let's go up and down the rest of the lineup because Otega always effort has been bad. They start Cam Williams at the four right now. Cam Williams has never seen a rebound he wants to get in his life. When they put Trent Noah in, attack him, crash. When they put Colin Chandler in, attack him, crash. Denzel Aberdeen's like a guy that's got to get back on defense, quite frankly. Like, this is just not the personnel on this team at all. And it's not indicative of Mark Pope having any idea of what his team's strengths and weaknesses are. Like, good teams are going to beat this team up on the boards. They're going to have to find ways to combat that and overcome it. Not say that's uncharacteristic of us. We should be better on the boards. You shouldn't. The personnel you're playing right now should not be better on the boards. You have proven that very clearly in the two biggest games. I'm just so frustrated with how he doesn't seem to understand this.
Do you feel like Mark Pope speaks at press conferences as if his team's fully healthy and coaches as if Jaden Quaitnitz is on the court sometimes, but he's not? Like, I don't think losing the rebounding battle the way they have is indicative of the team that includes JQ. I think if you play JQ and Moreno next to each other, you probably do win the rebounding battle, but you don't have him right now. Like,
Right.
like he speaks about his guard play as if Lowe's played every game. You don't have Lowe right now. And I feel like he's not coaching this team to the holes that they currently have. And that's like part of the problem. You can't coach this team as if they're fully healthy. Where's the Mark Pope last year that like when somebody got hurt, pressed all the right buttons? Like what happened to that guy? It's only been 8 months.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. It's just confusing. It's truly confusing. I like, and again, their rebounding numbers defensively look fine. They're 23rd in the country in defensive rebounding right now, but you have to isolate the games against quality opponents. They've held up great on the boards against the Cupcakes. Like, I guess if I'm trying to twist my brain to understand how Mark Pope could possibly think this, that's how I would do it. Like he's looking at what they did to Tennessee Tech and thinking it should apply against Caleb Wilson, Henry Vasar. But it's just wrong. It's just flawed line of thinking. And I think that's where if I was a player or a fan, I would be losing more and more faith in him because it feels like he doesn't understand what this team does well or does poorly.
Yeah, especially like without his best players, right? Like that's part of the issue. He's coach like I feel like he's coaching as if his guys are out there, they're not. And so he's ignoring what their weaknesses are at the moment and like trying to be like, well, we get like JQ fit like no, man, like I'm not even fully sure JQ's playing. Like
Right.
I don't know why, but like for whatever reason my brain can't compute JQ's for sure gonna play on this roster. Like if he doesn't play till January, right? Let's say Kentucky loses a few more games. We know JQ isn't bought into the college experience. He's there because he has to be. At what point does he do like an Owen Freeman and just say, I'm going to get ready? Well, Owen Freeman said, I'm going to get ready for the portal. But does JQ ever get to the point where he's like, I'm coming off a torn ACL. Obviously, there's minor risk of re injury. Do I want to do this?
There's a lot of moving parts here for sure. Yeah, I don't know. The JQ stuff will be interesting to follow, but I don't know. I made this point in another video. Like, I think JQ is the best big on this team. I also think Malachi Moreno's been great.
Yeah.
Um, so much of what we were told in the offseason was just hyperbole, though. It's like I feel like we're now building up JQ that he's the best player in the country. He's not. He was on a losing team last year.
Yeah.
Like JQ is not going to come back and like magically fix everything for this team. And he might be great. He probably will be the best player, but it's just one of those things. Like I think you got to take it all with a grain of salt because you could apply this exact quote like that. Oh, it's frustrating. It's very uncharacteristic of us to get beat up on the boards when they just got beat up on the boards for the second time in like 3 games against a quality opponent. You could apply it to shooting. Oh, we went 1 for 13 from three. That's very uncharacteristic of us. Or is it that your team doesn't have the shooting that you thought it did because you missed the mark on who Cam Williams is? You missed some evaluations on who a lot of these players are. That to me, that's the root of this issue. And Poe can call it uncharacteristic. It's like he doesn't see his own team right now.
I'm sorry. I think he looks on the court, sees Big Jelly, and thinks that's JQ. Also, I will say this. Mark Pope spoke in hyperbole the year before and was right. He spoke in hyperbole this year and was wrong. I don't know what to make of that, to be honest, because he told me Amari Williams was like basically Nikola Jokic in the SEC, and he was right. I thought that was one of the more ludicrous statements. It ended up being correct. He's like, we're the greatest shooting team ever. We're gonna make 10 threes a game. They did. And then he did all the same thing this year, and I'm like, I'm eating all this. Like, I'm eating good this offseason with Mark Pope. We're starving at the moment. I mean, we're starving. We got to get something.